Hi, this is David Saville. Now, I was coaching someone earlier today on creating a coaching business on sports performance. And one of the things that we were talking about, because I've coached quite a few athletes at all different levels, from Olympic gold medalists down to just your average amateur athlete. And he was saying, because a lot of the times that I've worked with these athletes, they're generally complaining about the sports psychologists they've worked with. At least a lot of the ones I've coached have complained about that. They say that they're ineffective, essentially. And he was asking me why I think that is. Now, the way I work is I'm not attached to any specific discipline. You know, I've trained in NLP and hypnosis, but I've kind of left those behind, really. I've kept like the understandings of how people create their reality and just removed all the techniques completely. And then I'm continually learning and evolving what it means to be alive, how people interact in the world, and how transformations happen inside at a deep level. You know, this is my path to mastery. It's something that is, I made a commitment to be world class, and I'm living into this all the time. I never stop learning. And I think the reason why sports psychologists are not that effective, I mean, if you look at the English football team, for instance, not being able to take a fucking penalty, the reason why is because they're attached to the knowledge a bit too much, I believe. Because the thing is, when you've done that much studying in a specific field, you can start to believe that it's true. You know, you read it in these textbooks, and it's printed there, it's been documented, and so that's true. But then if you go fast forward 10, 20 years, generally a lot of the stuff they think is true changes, and someone else comes out and they find out actually that's not true. This is true. And so that's, I think, part of the problem. It's an attachment to knowledge. Another part is focusing on the brain. The brain is powerful, right? The brain's really important, but it's also connected to a body, and we are not separate to our bodies. You know, our body and mind are one, and they work together in a very complex way. And so when I'm working with people, I'm working on their entire being. You know, on the mind, on their physicality, and on their spirituality as well, which is something I've been coming into. I work very intuitively. It's like, the way I describe it is, so if I'm spending time with you and I'm finding out about you, you just speak. And in truth, it doesn't matter what you speak about that much. It's more about how you say it and the metaphors that you're sharing. And it's like I step into that world and I experience it as if I'm you for a little while, and I can feel what you feel. And so I can feel the points of resistance, the points of change, the points that will make the biggest difference to you. You know, I can join the dots up and go, bang, that's the piece. And then I can show it to you. And if it's the right spot, it's like there's a holy fuck moment. And just by doing that, showing you what you couldn't see before, then you get the choice to live through that. So it's a very intuitive, very heart and gut based way of working. It's hard for me to understand even what I'm noticing a lot of the time, because it's hard. Like I say, it's very hard to explain. It's like I'm building a virtual reality world of the person that's in front of me, and I'm living in that world for a while. So whether we're talking about the past, present, or future, it's all viscerally there, and I can experience it. It's why I can actually, if someone can be speaking like non-stop for 20, 30 minutes without me barely saying a word, and I'm just patiently absorbing it all. And then at some point there'll be a piece that I connect to, and I'm like, is it this? And then if it's the point, it's like everything changes, you know, and that's when seemingly miraculous things happen. And then it's a beautiful thing to see people live through that. So for me, I think that's why I've had great impact with the people I've worked with. I mean, incredible impact. And why sports psychologists, though they on paper should be able to, many do not. Definitely not all. Some are obviously amazing at what they do, but that's the main difference that I can see. Too much focus on knowledge and not enough on intuition and gut feel. So, question for you. Where is knowledge holding you back? You know, where do you know too much about something that is actually stopping you from getting what you want? Have a think about that. It may take a while to consider, because that's the thing about knowledge. You know, you think you know it all, you know, and when you know it all, that's generally an indication that you've got a block there. And if you were to just be open to another perspective, everything could change. So yeah, where do you know too much? Take care.